Good morning, beautiful being. It is great to be with you inside today as it's pouring outside. I think it was very considerate of the weather, as frequently happens. I walked to the top of the hill with almost snow, little spots come inside, and it's raining again. So I'm grateful. I was wearing wet weather gear, but I didn't come home and have soaked wet weather gear, which is actually a bit of a pain, because you've got to dry it somehow. Morning, Linda. I'm wearing my crown again. The rain is from the north, so it's quite warm. Hi, Vanessa. But it's nice to be inside wearing my crown, not out there. Today, here's a lump of pyrite just to enjoy and be sparkly with. Iron pyrite, right? It is quite heavy. For a small rock, it sits in your hand and says, I'm a lump of iron pyrite. And it's sparkly. And it's beautiful here. Yay, Andrea! Woo! Great to see you, gorgeous! Good morning, everybody who's coming on. And see your little faces. It just takes a while for Facebook to tell me who you are. It doesn't always tell me who you are, but it's great to see you. So, sparkly pyrite. Something not sparkly but wonderful is this fluorite tetrahedron. Good morning, Zane. It's great to see you. So there it is, and it is actually, this is white and this is green, and I love the fact that it's two colours. And you can see, the planes through it. It's just beautiful. It's so simple, it's so not perfect, and I really enjoy this stone every time I get to show it to you. That one would weigh the pocket down. This one, I'm sure, would just fit in your pocket perfectly. Andrea has a thing about pocket rocks. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dave. Inside, it's actually raining audibly out there. You probably can't hear it, but maybe you can. It's wet. And this is a really lovely, fugly rock, right? Funny and ugly, but I love it. This is obviously smoky quartz, and it's an celestial, which means it's all over the place, and it's got all this stuff growing in between the crystals, and it's got greeny blue tourmaline. Good morning, Abigail. So it's a stone with everything. So there's that big piece of tourmaline there. Good morning, Laurie. And then there's another chunk here. I think has it got the two main pieces? Yes, and the rest of it is just this lovely sparkly, all over the place smoky quartz celestial. It's a bit skeletal, it's got holes in it, it's so imperfect that it's fabulous. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I was actually, when I first got, and look, you can see it's, the light's bouncing off something inside the stone. When I first got this one, I was actually a little bit disappointed in it because it wasn't very pretty, but it grew on me. Camel Storm, and you're on the bridge. Well, the captain's on the bridge. It's all okay. Linda knitted this for me. She found the perfect yarn, and she worked out how to make a lace cap, which was not easy. It's a beautiful creation. It's one of a kind. Linda does amazing knits. So, yeah, and crochet is very nice. There's all these different choices and handcrafts. So, today, what the hell am I talking about today? Oh, yes, right. Yesterday we were talking about really stepping out of the expectations that people have of us and that we often have of ourselves about how we should be and how we should show up and what do you do with the people that don't get you, right? And what came out of that is this whole thing of what happens after you've had an interaction with someone that, this can happen in a good way too, by the way. Good morning, Vicky! And I love to say hello to people, Abigail. There's going to come a point when I won't be able to do it because there'll be too many. But right now I get to do this. So it's very interesting how you deal with stuff when things change, What happens when it grows. But right now I can do this. I can say hello! And I'll always do that one way or another. So what happens when you have an interaction with somebody and you walk away from it and you find that you are replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying, that interaction again. Kelly, it's great to see you. Heather, good morning. What do you do, right? because we all do this. We end up trying to justify ourselves to ourselves, or we end up with a critical thing that goes round and round and round. Oh, you should have done it differently, or you hear your mother's voice, or your father's voice, or your teacher's voice, or whoever it was that criticised you, whatever. That, right? What do? And what most of us try to do is to, stop thinking that. But of course, we all know if you've been trapped in one of those hell loops, that doesn't work. Now, the reason why that doesn't work is, and I'm going to do a little bit of basic neuroscience. I thought, can I really explain how I think this works? So I can explain how I think this works. I think it's close to the truth, but I'm not actually a neuroscientist, right? What I know is that when you have an experience, and it's enough for you to pay attention, this is if you're learning a skill, or if you have a bad thing happen, or if you have a good thing happen, doesn't matter. When you have a novel experience, a group of neurons in your brain makes a connection. And that's called making a memory. Morning, Jen! And if you just have the experience and there's not much emotional charge to it, and you don't revisit that connection, those neural connections that you just made, they're going to prune apart within hours or days or maybe weeks. But if you keep revisiting those connections, then you strengthen them. You make them more. Oh, yeah. What the hell did they mean? And what does it mean about me, right? That whole thing. And your brain just goes round and round and round, and there's X number, yes, many ways for this looping thing to happen. But every time we go around the circuitous loop, and I've done that too, Linda, we're firing and wiring the same limited set of neurological pathways. And I'm too warm, I've got to take this off. The more you do that, and this is how, and we embellish our long-term memories, by the way. They're not the same as whatever it was that happened 20 years ago is not what you remember. Now, why is that? Because when you had that experience 20 years ago, you strung a bunch of neural connections together, and there was chemistry, and you had the experience. Morning, Amy! And then you remembered it. And the brain, because it works by association, went, oh, that reminds me of this. And so, the fact that your teacher criticised you reminded you of the fact that your parent criticised you. And then those two things get connected together. And you're not even paying attention to the fact that you started with the fact that your teacher was mean to you, and now that's hooked up with the fact that your parent was mean to you. Or you felt they were mean to you, whatever. We're not talking about blame here and who's responsible and all that stuff. It's just about your subjective experience. So now you've got this original neural network and it's hooked up with that other one. Your brain has changed. And every time you think about it, and we've all had the experience of thinking about something that happened. You think, I'm going to get that person. I'm going to, and you start creating more and more ways that you might respond. Or, I wish I'd said this, and I should have said that, and I should have done the other thing. And the neural network gets bigger. It becomes enriched. Because you're thinking the thought and you're having the feeling, and when you're having that feeling, you're having the experience, and experience enriches the brain. So our memories grow and embellish themselves like this. You have a scary experience, and 15 years later, it's like there were tigers there, man. Or you hook a big fish, and 15 years later, it's twice the size. This is what we do. So the loops get more and more established in the hardware, the neural architecture of your brain. I know this is fact. And that's why when you've been playing those loops for however many years you've been playing them, right? And then you think, oh my God, I want to stop this for the first time, right? That thought of, oh my God, this is horrible, I want to stop this, is a new thought. Now, it might be quite a revelation to you that you want to stop this. But the chances are, now sometimes people have a real aha, and that the power of that aha and that decision is so powerful that it wipes away the 20, 30, 50 years, whatever, of all of that neural network, which is in a minute, in a moment. And it can happen. But for most of us, It's more like standing at the bottom of Mount Everest and looking up and thinking, oh shit, but we don't realise that we're actually standing at the bottom of a huge mountain looking up and thinking, oh shit. We just know, oh my God, I can't stop these circling thoughts. Yeah, and it's not on purpose that we distort it. Quite right, Abigail. It's just the survival emotions. Remember, we've talked about the loop that you get into. This is all part of the same problem. That you have a traumatic experience or an unpleasant experience or whatever it is. So you think a fearful thought. Let's get really specific. You think a fearful thought, and then your body, because I'm talking about a fearful thought that's enough to actually make you feel fearful. That means that thought has been powerful enough that chemistry has poured from your brain to your body. Good morning, Karen. Happened to me last night, by the way. This is not something that never happens to me. Happened to me last night. So you have the fearful thought, and then your body feels fearful. And then the most natural and sensible and evolutionarily adaptive and useful thing is that what happens next is, because your body is feeling afraid, your brain then looks for more fearful thoughts. It's like, oh my God, I'm feeling scared. Does that mean there's a tiger that's going to come and kill me? Katarina, good morning. Does that mean someone's going to come and hit me over the head with a club? Does that mean, that my environment isn't safe? The brain goes into vigilance. It starts looking for more things, and the more things you think about that might be wrong, the more you feel fearful. So that's how the loop gets established, right? It's how PTSD happens. I know that's how PTSD happens. The experience is so overwhelming, and there's so much chemistry that then the body gets stuck in this feedback loop of all the chemistry firing up the fearful thoughts and the hypervigilance, and then there's more chemistry, because we're scared and we've got to, and that you just get stuck in the loop. So then to say, I want to stop this, is like trying to stop a hurricane for some of us, for not a few of us, I think. So, what did I do last night when my own little personal hurricane was trying to blow up? And I remember I was sitting at my computer thinking, this is not good. I do not want these signals going to my body. I do not want my body feeling like this. And we talked a while ago now about why that is. I'm not going to go there. I ran out of time. What I did was, I don't know, I can't remember if I was sitting at the computer or I was standing in the kitchen, but I shut my eyes because I know that this is the answer, and I opened my focus. Now, what do I mean by that? When you're feeling afraid of something that's going on in your body, of a person that you're scared is going to do something to you, or you're feeling the pain of what they said to you, or you're anticipating a scary future, or you're remembering a painful past. When you are doing that, where was I going with this? Your brain is focused intensely on that thing. You have a narrow convergent focus, because if you are being chased by a lion, remember this is the evolutionary thing, right? Cavemen, primitive things to survive, you have to run away from danger and find a place that's safe. And if there is an imminent threat in your environment, it's smart to run the hell away from it. And the only thing you're interested in is protecting your body, where you are in your environment and where you need to go, and how long it's going to take you to get there. That's it. And by the way, yesterday morning, quite innocently, something happened and my body went into wild animal mode. I was just ready to scream instantly. It's an old program. Really powerful stuff. And you've got to stop looking for the triggers. So, and I had to do that this morning. My God, I was sitting in my team, Zoom, breathing through my heart, thinking, I've got to get my body out of the state where I just want to hit things. It was really powerful. It's like, oh my God, this is still there. So it happens to me, just in case anybody thinks my life is perfect. My life is perfect, but not in the way that I never have these things happen. So, how do you get your focus off this thing? You've got this very narrow focus because some part of your body, your autonomic nervous system, has perceived a threat, just like you say, Linda. There's a threat in the environment. I need to flee, or I need to fight, or I need to freeze. Those are the choices. You turn into a wild animal that's running away from a predator. That's it. Makes you very selfish. You don't care who you hurt when you're in that state. You just want to survive. How do you get out of that? Narrow, convergent focus. And by the way, the brain is in high beta. This is what happens with PTSD and anxiety and actually depression too. Go, man! Good morning! This is what happens. The brain gets stuck in high beta. Round and round and round, whatever it is that's going on. And it's this convergent focus, which is about running away from a predator. But when there's no predator and you're stuck in, it's like you're sitting in neutral with your foot on the gas and the engine's going, whee! Literally. So how do you stop that? Right. You open your focus. You go from a very narrow focus to an open focus. Good morning, Maura. Good morning, Bernadette. And by the way, this is a skill. This is a skill. It takes practice. I've had to be very dedicated to myself to get good at this. I am good at this now. It doesn't mean that I can immediately turn my crazy things off when they blow up, but it means that I know I can do something about it. I may have to remove myself from my world, shut my eyes and go do something serious, if it's that bad, which I couldn't actually do yesterday. I just had to moderate it down. Jenny, good morning. But this is what we have to do. We have to break the brain out of high beta, which is very painful. Yeah, it is hell. It really is hell. It's totally hell. The way to get out of it, now this is a simple thing, but it's practice, and I encourage you, please, if you've got anxiety, if you've got PTSD, go and look up Dr. Joe Dispenza and get into his body of work. Read, learn, do the work. You will heal yourself. There are people who have healed themselves very powerfully. You can look at the testimonials of people who have healed themselves of PTSD. And it doesn't necessarily take ages. It really doesn't. You've got to get the brain out of the loop. So how do you do this? Right, first of all, let's practice this. This is what I wanted to do. So close your eyes, please. You got my voice. That's enough. I mean, you can watch me if you like. Close your eyes. And if you want, this is very natural for me to do. Put your hands over your heart if you like, because it's going to give you a heart focus. But we're not really going to do that right now. All I'm going to ask you to do is pay attention to your breathing, which is going to be enough of a challenge if your brain is in that loop and it's high beta and you want to run and you're fidgety and, your brain is like this wild animal that got unleashed in me. So, put your attention on your breath, and however your breathing is, just aim to slow it down and follow it as it goes in and out. Just try that. Just notice it. What you're doing with the noticing is you're paying attention. It's still a convergent focus, but now you're paying attention to your breath. And whatever your breath is, it's not what you were thinking about before. So what you're doing is changing what you're paying attention to. And again, you may have to, it's like if you're riding a horse that doesn't want to go where you want to go, you may have to course correct 100 times. And it's okay if you do. You're not failing if you do. You just need to slow down your brain, and it's going to take some effort. You're going to have to labour for it. That's what my inspiration Joe Dispenza says, and he's right. Some days I do have to labour for it. Come on, get my brain back on target, please. Okay, pay attention to your breath. Now, things to pay attention to. Put your attention on your breath. So notice, as you breathe in, notice how it feels when the air's going in through your nose. And notice the back of your throat. I find that really interesting. Notice the back of your throat, the vault of the inside of your head. Notice the air as it goes past. Follow it through the inside of your throat and down your throat and feel it inflating your lungs. And then as you breathe out, follow it back. You see, you're giving your brain something to pay attention to, but it's not that horrible, nasty other stuff, right? So as you do that, you're going to naturally find that your breathing slows down because you've got stuff to pay attention to while you do it. So follow your breath in through your nose. You do close your mouth, please, if you possibly can. Because some people, their nose is really blocked. And there's a whole nother story. You'll find if you practice slowing your breath down, and when you breathe out, really breathe out. Breathe out until you feel a little bit of desire to breathe in again. Don't just take another breath. Slow it out and rest at the bottom of the breath and pay attention to that. Think, when do I actually want to breathe again? Now, really, when do I actually want to breathe again? Really, when do I actually want to breathe again? Oh, okay, now. Because we get a lot of oxygen stuck on the blood cells, And if you have too much, it changes the acid balance of your blood, becomes acidic, and if you use some of that up, you're going to push the chemistry of your blood back towards more alkaline, and that too is calming. So what we're doing is getting into your autonomic nervous system. So pay attention to your breath. Pay attention to your breath. Slow your breath down. Now, here's another thing to do. As you breathe in, and then you breathe out, consciously choose to relax your body. Let it go. Let your shoulders go. And just see how long you can breathe out for. Hi, Steph. Morning, beautiful. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your body go. Feel a seat you're sitting on, or wherever you are. Feel the gravity that's holding your body on whatever it's standing or sitting on or walking on, whatever. Let go. Consciously. Your body's going to want to go back to being busy. So body, breathe out, let go. As you breathe out, it's actually natural for your body to let go. But you can augment that natural response by saying, body, breathe out, now relax. Just let it go. That worked well. Do another one. Breathe in. Breathe out. And if you have to cough, that's fine. Just breathe out and cough, whatever you need to do, whatever your body's doing. It's not used to doing this. So let go. My body shakes a lot when I meditate. You know, I'm just letting you see. When I start working energy, it shakes and rattles, and then it goes really quiet after a while. It doesn't immediately become statuesque. Okay? My body shakes when I work energy. So it's all right, whatever it's doing. I mean, you've coughed, it's not going to kill you. Just let it go. Breathe in and breathe out and let go. Let go. Yeah, it does. This is very, very simple. So following your breath and giving your body a conscious command to relax. And we run out of time. We haven't even got to the open focus, right? So the open focus, just very briefly, is to now, as you keep, telling your body, calm down, relax, whatever space you're in, put your attention in the space around you. Just open your focus. If you're in a room, can you notice the wall behind you? I'll go on. Put your awareness on the wall behind you. That's a really nice one because you can't see it. You're going into the unknown. Can you put your attention on one of the walls on one side of you? So you're putting your attention away from all that stuff and you're just paying attention to space. Now put your attention on the other wall. You can do both at the same time, if you like. All the space around you, and begin to explore it with your awareness. Never mind the space above you and below you. Oh, and the space in front of you, and how far can you open your awareness? See? That is open focus. And if you just get present with your body and give the autonomic nervous system a chance to calm down, follow your breath, tell your body to relax, and open your focus out into the space around you. You can go bigger, outside the room, outside your city, outside the planet. You can just go as big as you like. You can go so big you get outside the universe. It's very, very, very good. I guess we'll talk about it more tomorrow because I am so out of time. Nefertiti, it's gorgeous to see you just in time to say hello. And I know I said this before. Two things before we close. I encourage you to just sit with this for a little while and practice it and realize you can do this as many times a day as you're willing to sit down. It took us about 5 minutes. And okay, I've got to excuse that. In 3.5 hours, I'll be back to give you an update on what our Sangre Gomez is doing in the Gambia. So I look forward to catching up with you then, if you're available. Otherwise, big love, open your focus, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Bye-bye.